We are here to do your channel messages and what I see for your star sign in each month. Now, if you do like this content, remember to click the bell. And also we do have a brand new edition, which is the Romance Zone. So stay tuned for that. I will be bringing those channel messages with the tarot live by mid-month. So if you do wish this content ahead of the game, you can join a YouTube membership where I pre-release these a week ahead. Take care, and let's have a look at what I see for your zodiac sign this month. Scorpio, welcome back. We're here to do your update for March 2023. Yes, this is a very pivotal month, and a lot of changes will be happening that are going to affect all of us collectively as well as individually. We're going to do all we can to get you prepared for March and what I see coming through for you. Okay, as we do move into March, there are two pockets of energy that are coming through, and it's almost like the month is going to be completely split into two dynamics, two frequencies. The second part can be more intense than the initial. However, generally, we can actually have these energies playing out several months before. I have seen a lot of themes relating to March already playing up, I would say around mid-January. Also, there can be big changes really at a karmic close coming through because we do have Pluto making a transit this month into the house of Aquarius, both at the critical degree points, which I will discuss where it's hitting for you. As we do move into the month, we're going to have the sun in Pisces. For you emotionally, there can be a lot of attention that does go into your romantic zone, really tuning into it, really being quite attentive focused. So creative projects are very possible, subjects to do with children. There can be strong feelings coming up around these situations. So it can be romance, it can be your children, it can be creative projects. As we move to March the 7th, we are having the full moon in Virgo. We also have Saturn moving into the house of Pisces, where it will stay until 2025. Saturn draws things in. Saturn also is going to both restrict us, but in a beneficial role, it is going to provide us the PDF that is going to be coming in the coming months to show you how to make your dreams come true. But it can be pulling things in. For you, this also can be linking to your fifth house. This is in relation to children. It can be in your romantic area, taking a lot of responsibility, really fine-tuning that area. This can also be relating to documents. Now, if there was something really that you were having in a pattern sense, there can be some new laws that are coming in potentially that are going to restrict some of those things. But I do particularly feel where it does come to creative endeavors, you can be really honing in and being quite strict in that department to achieve your hopes and dreams. I would also say a lot of movement is going to happen in this domain. This can be a lot of socialization, a lot of catching up with friends, really branching out and tapping. This can also be spiritual groups, going to spiritual groups, going to sessions. Meditation also can aid you at this time. It can be that you're interacting also with a lot of children. This can be through your family, through your workplace, or through other means. I do particularly feel Mars has caused a lot of conflict for many of us. And many of us are thinking, when is Mars going to leave and exit out of Gemini and move into Cancer? Cancer, it is deemed as in its detriment in the house of Cancer. It will be shifting out of the house of Gemini by the 25th of March 2023. So in the initial stages, we're still in the first pocket of the month for the first half, going to be dealing with that and really ironing out the creases for you. There can be subjects relating to your partner's income. It can be a contract that you're reviewing. This could also be relating to your intimate partnerships, some frustrations, and what you directly can depend on. I do particularly feel whatever you have been viewing, be it it's paperwork and it's something that you want to directly invest in, really looking at sustainable living, so to speak. Potentially, it could be for some of you, you're looking at changes that are going to come up in your home domain. So interesting. Some of the videos I've looked at lately have been tiny homes. homes. There could be something in your home, Pluto transit. I do feel a lot of pressure has come up in your daily routine, your communication style. I don't think this is going to remain that way, though. So if you do feel, and you have experienced over the last few years, having to replace cars, having to replace technology, having to go over documents and paperworks, this could be essays as well, when you just find you're repeating and you're having to go back over old ground. I do feel your routine is really branching out, your conversation piece, your communication style, the courage to actually deal with certain circumstances. I do feel it's wrapping up. This can be a time, I also feel, that you can be hearing from people of the past, but I also feel you're branching your circle out and it's really expanding. I do particularly feel as we move to the second pocket of the month, this is where the intensity is going to come from. And I have been wanting my patrons for a while. For you, there can be a lot to do with what you wish to achieve, having to have courage in your abilities. This can be where it does come to breaking old habits. This can also be the emotional side of things. And I did mention in the previous video, which I will try to attach inside of these. Otherwise, you can go to the energy report at Yildiz Readings 5D. Now, what I was seeing coming up with our pending nodes shifting and next month's eclipse is potentially these placements in Aries are really going to start kicking off and being quite amplified. It doesn't have to be a negative thing, but we do have a conjunction occurring on the 12th of March 2023. Jupiter in Aries will be making a conjunction to Aries and Chiron, the wounded healer. How I have mentioned it is it can be a physical ailment, or it could be an emotional vibration of where we feel a little bit out of our depths, maybe what we're wanting to move towards to achieve, and we feel two things. One could be, particularly because it's linking to your sixth house, that due to wellness, you have an ability to achieve things. Separately, it could be due to a lot going on and your inability to address things in organization structure in a timely manner that you may not be able to. What I am seeing is you are going to learn a lot to do with structures, routines. Some of you could be working in an environment that is around that area. There can be an expansion also where it does come to you wanting to get fit and making a short-term sacrifice for a long-term goal. But I do feel whatever you're trying to achieve, it's going to need an incredible amount of organization. So trust the process and try to not get triggered. You're definitely going to have a lot of energy in that area. Really good time to journal, because if you do particularly find some key themes coming up, they're only later going to come about next month. And as we do move into the middle of the year when the nodes shift. So take notes and take stock. As we move to the 16th, we have Venus entering Taurus. This can be a beautiful time for relationships where things can be quite beautiful. You may be looking more attractive, wanting to change your image, change your diet. The one warning I would give is when we have transits in Taurus, especially in a Venus house, you can be more susceptible to overeating. This is fine dining, hitting that cookie jar, wanting to tap into use of substances to, soothe the nerves. It's a great time to have spiritual baths, especially as we do move to the 21st. We're going to be having a new moon in Aries. Now, this also can be a heightened time of brand new beginnings, brand new choices, especially linking to your sixth house. Some of you may decide to get a pet. This could be a cat, a dog, a fish, you name it. It is a possibility. You also may have changes that are necessary to address. And it is one of those good months, especially with the sixth house placement, that if you think something is off, that you directly get it checked. As we move to the 23rd, we're having Pluto entering into Aquarius. Now, this is really, I would say, a week before and even 2 weeks after. Pay attention to this area, because what you're going to find is both energies moving out of Capricorn at 29 degrees And then as it moves over into Aquarius at 0 degrees, they're both deemed as the critical degree point. Now, we do have Uranian energy coming through in the house of Aquarius with some old style astrology. This also can be a time, as mentioned with Venus and Taurus, that you do need to be careful of pacifiers, really increasing your fluid. A lot of dream states are going to be deeply focused on this month and really challenging the status quo so you can make your dreams come true regardless of what is happening in the collective. Try and have faith in the process. I would say with it moving to the critical degree, some of those tension points are really going to be alleviated in your third house. Now, what can that be? It could be subjects to do with your daily routine, having to rush around, having to, go back and forward. Your routine's going to change. Your eating style's going to change. The way you communicate will change. There could be some purchases that you may decide to get. It could be that you're getting that paperwork in order and you're finally able to get that brand new car. As it moves, there is subjects and there will be subjects of changes coming up for you relating to a home. Now, I don't necessarily think this is a bad thing. Some of you could have some revelations. Some of you may set some goals. This could be people moving in, people moving out, changes around your tribe. Pregnancies also are possible. And this really can be playing out over the next 2 to 3 years. So really take it where it lands. Be super aware. Unless you had a personal booking, we could not directly look at that unless we saw your aspects. But I do particularly feel the changes that you've wanted to make around your relationship with your mother, around your relationship with yourself, parenting roles, daily routines, and the physical location in which you reside, be it it's a home-based business or it is a physical residence, there's definitely going to be those changes coming up. Be super cautious around your communication style this month because we will have, as mentioned, Mars moving into the house of Cancer. And I already was seeing themes of Mars and Cancer in February. What can come about, as it is deemed as in its detriment, it may be that our emotions are a little bit more volatile. It is important, if you are a feminine, to be aware of your surroundings and be security conscious. This can be checking the smoke alarms in your house, being aware of hazards, being aware of your body and any changes that are going on, and taking the necessary steps where it applies. Children also can be a little bit more moody. And for those of you that do have children, I do particularly feel you're going to be a bit more stern with them. Just go easy on it because Mars can be that there is a lot of energy happening in that one particular location. For some of you, it could be subjects really pinging off relating to siblings. It could also be a lot of movement going back and forward where it does come to a contract and having to fine tune it. This could be for employment. It could be for a physical home. You're going to have energy. Try to keep your cool in that circumstance. We get more with honey and wine. Okay, I'm just going to say. The other thing can be you can be frustrated and having conflict with siblings, projecting your belief systems, or feeling really spiritually misunderstood. Really sit with it prior to addressing the individual. I had this really interesting experience one time, and it was a frustrating situation. And I had to say to myself, okay, if you effectively are what we deem in the collective as in self-awareness or waking, woke, then how can you look at this circumstance before you lash out? And so I literally put myself in the naughty corner to go and clean the bathroom, clean the lavatory until I had calmed my energy down. And I always use the traffic light analogy. It's red, you're angry, or you're frustrated, or just really perplexed. Then it goes to the yellow. It's like, okay, go to the inner child, go to the creative process. What do you want to get out of this? How should you react? Is there a healthy boundary? A, with you, B, with another, however it lands. And then moving into the addressing of the situation. Not necessarily at a fire level, which is a potential because it is Mars after all, but at a level where we can look at it and say, okay, for every problem, there is a solution. Let's get to the bottom of this and go in quite neutral and address it as such. For some of you, it can be that you are wishing to travel. There is, and it can be quite a rushed energy. But for others of you, this can be a document. Overall, this month does have positivity in brand new beginnings, and really understand a lot of your dreams are completely achievable. Don't underestimate what you can achieve. Aries is there to guide you through. Our transits are going to give us a break with Pluto entering into Aquarius. So definitely after 20 years, I think all of us should feel quite relieved that we're moving out of that and paving that way into the age of Aquarius. If you do want a private booking, you can go to the link below. Otherwise, I will see you for our updates throughout the month and your mid-month romance reads. Take care, beautifuls.